and could create an employer-employee relationship between neighborhood council service providers, which is exactly what everyone, including the city attorney's office, wants to avoid. Instead of allowing experienced service providers such as myself to work directly with neighborhood councils as directly contracted small business services providers starting July 1st, just like the hundreds of other small business people with which the city already contracts. Thank you.
My conception, maybe Robert, you could clarify this, but my conception would be just because a nonprofit, for example, would be the one that's delivering the checks, quick turnaround on checks, doesn't mean that the neighborhood council wouldn't be able to contract with anyone, including for-profits, to provide services to the neighborhood council.
Including small business people?
Including small business people,
Thank
right? I see no reason why that wouldn't be compatible.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dee Audette and I'm from Venice. 10 years ago, Larry, the mayor invited me. I was then president of the Venice, called Grassroots Venice Neighborhood Council, and to tell him what I would like to see. And I said then, I would like to see some training in good citizenship, how people can organize themselves to make good decisions, learn a little about Robert's Rules of Order. And he said, gee, that's a great idea. I will deputize one of my staff here to work with you on that. Do you remember that?
I think it was about 4 years ago, but I do actually, yes.
4 years?
Well, the mayor's only been here for 5, so yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Oh my God, I'm always playing with time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to. Now, when you responded, you talked about leadership, training, and I was very disappointed. I don't recall exactly how I replied, but I'm sure I did. But I want to tell you, right here, in this, you have a room full of leaders, and I don't think they required any training. It's something that just springs up. Now, what we need are good citizens. Training and how to be a good citizen and how to conduct yourself as a group. In Venice, we've been studying complexity, and today, twice, from you, Larry, and from you, Aaron, I heard the word robust. Now, whether you were repeating lingo you've heard from some other place, or whether you have been studying complexity, nevertheless, robustness depends on communication in a two-way street. Now, I'm sure these leaders here have been struggling to get their messages through to you. How hard have you struggled to get your plans for what you want to do back to the leaders? Thank you.
I think that has to be ongoing. I mean, we have had deep conversations in some places, but not as many places as they need to be, and I think that's still ahead of us.
Good.
Yeah.
Mary Garcia, the town North Hollywood. I don't understand why in this extreme time of crisis, the mayor has not so embraced what we do, who we are, and even said, you know what, you're doing a great job. I'm going to give you 10% more than you've got now, because what you're doing is so very important. And since I have to take money from here and there, and you guys are planting trees and building medians and supporting the libraries, which I can't fully support at the moment, he should be saying, let me do more with you. But in fact, that's not happening. And I can tell you, I am so disappointed in this mayor. From the time that I walked for him the first time he lost. And so, I'm so disappointed on the platform that he ran for the citizens of this city. the people of all of these communities, that he was going to do his very best for them, and I don't think he's doing that. In fact, I think he's trying to dismantle the system. And I've talked to this before. We do not belong with CBD. In fact, there are thousands, or at least 1,000 nonprofits in this city, and you have a select 140. How did they get there in the first place? Well, they got there because someone believed that they did a good job, and they've been supporting some of these for 20 years or 10 years or 15, and that's great. And if we wish to put our money through a nonprofit, we should be able to do that at our choice. But I wish to put my money in a small business, which are slowly disappearing from this city, perhaps bonded CPA, not in a nonprofit that has a treasurer, like myself even. I have a nonprofit. And you're part of the board and you select to be the treasurer. That's not bonded. So I just want you to know one thing here. Democracy is a work in progress that we all have to participate in and be partners in.
Hi, Ed Noby from Summerton, also one of the North Valley budget advocates. I don't think many of us in this room, since you haven't been a lot to the budget advocate meetings, can realize how much Larry, Robert, and Aaron are friends of all of us in this room. How hard they are actually trying to involve us, even though it's still not probably the best involvement we've ever seen, but it definitely is getting better and better day by day, week by week, especially because we're starting to see more and more outsiders get involved in the conversation. So these three gentlemen really deserve a big hand for us because they work really hard and they're our friends. That's one part of the conversation. Another part of the conversation, I think, at least coming from the budget advocates and getting feedback from my own neighborhood council and others in North Valley, excuse me, is that the funding of neighborhood councils as of July 1st is our biggest concern. So I know that Adrian, I know that Paul Hatfield have brilliant ideas how the neighborhood council funding system can move forward and maybe not involve the nonprofits. I think neighborhood councils are very afraid of that because of the non-profit tie-up, because maybe we